G'day guys, welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are talking about the barbell calf press. Fantastic exercise to do when it comes to just targeting those, well, obviously your calf muscles, but targeting that concentric phase. Obviously we're not going to get that big deep stretch in because of the fact that we're limited to the ground, but very good exercise to really get those calves going, especially if you're stuck in times where all you have access to is a barbell. We don't want to skip out on our calf training because a lot of people overlook the calves because obviously they're really hard to grow. Now look at mine, they're not great by any stretch of the imagination, but by training your calf muscles, what it creates is ankle stability. Now that is a massive component when it comes to any type of leg training work, deadlift work, like rows as well, to save your lower back, because your feet are your foundation. So if you can train your feet and train the ability to screw them into the ground and have much greater ankle stability, which is going to be generated through your calf muscles, okay, because that's where all your tendons run to, is into your calves. So obviously they're coming from your calves. Then that's going to transfer up and into your body, into your legs, into your backside, into your back, into your chest, and so on and so forth, right? So we really want to have nice, stable, strong ankles, have really good stability from there, and a really good way to do that is to train, obviously, your calf muscles. They may not get big, they may not get strong like the rest of them. Ideally, you want some form of growth, but nonetheless, even if you just train them for a stability factor, for a strength factor, they're going to have some fantastic, significant results throughout other muscles. Okay, so with that being said, hopefully you've picked up by now that my shoes are actually undone. Okay, and there's a reason for that. A lot of people wear Connies. They're quite a popular shoe. A lot of people just wear them because everyone else does and they're a fashion statement. But for those geeky nerds like myself who like to actually know why things are the way they are, people wear these type of shoes because they have flat sole. Now, what does that mean for us? Well, if we're wearing runners, a great sort of analogy to think about is that if you're doing a push-up on a mattress, it's far harder than if you do the push-up off a floor. And that's because you sink into the mattress and absorb your force. Your force is pressing into the mattress, right? Same concept with your runners, if you're pushing all that force either into the leg press plate or into the ground in a deadlift or a squat or whatever the case may be, okay, there will be some form of absorption through your runners. There'll be less stability because obviously your runners are designed to take force and sort of roll with whatever your movements are throughout your run. Okay, maybe you hit an uneven surface, so on and so forth. Okay, but we aren't performing on uneven surfaces. Well, I hope you're not. And also, we want to be able to transfer as much force into the ground. Okay, because obviously the equal and opposite reactions. If we're transferring force this way, we're going to be able to drive back up or move the load that is bearing down. Right, so where was I going with this? Right, now the reason why we want to undo our shoes is because of the fact that when we are coming up, especially Connies, if you have high top or any high top shoes for that matter, the whole purpose of the high top shoe is to add ankle stability. Fantastic when it comes to, say, a deadlift or a squat pattern. But when it comes to a calf press, we actually want to be able to go through the full range. We don't want that added stability. We want to be able to take it obviously through a full range. If we're tied up, then we can't do that. So undo your shoes. After all that, undo your shoes and do your calf presses either without shoes on, but I would suggest do them with, because you can use the bottom of your shoes for a bit of grip on the ground, and away we go. Right, now let's talk about grip of the ground. In every leg exercise, I tell you to do or to create 3 points of contact. Same goes with our calf. our barbell calf raise, but we are going to be more fixated on the first two. So the first two are in line with our pinky toe and our big toe. Okay, then we are going to be obviously worried about the third, because the third is going to come up and off the ground. But with our toes, with our 2 points, we want to make sure that we are gripping the ground like we would a barbell, but obviously with our toes, and creating as much stability as possible when it comes to popping up on off the ground. Right. So because this is a free weighted exercise, because we are subjected to where the bar wants to go, we need to make sure that we are nice and tight and rigid in our upper body and also our lower body before we then go ahead and perform the exercise. So we're going to set up just like we would our squat pattern. We're going to come in, we're going to pull our shoulder blades back and down. We're going to be locked up through our midsection, and we're going to be up nice and tall. From this position here, you can see that I actually like to come out, or from here we're also going to squeeze my glutes on, and we're going to lock our knees out. So all we are going to be doing now is allowing our ankles that mobility that they like, which will be coming up onto our toes and back down again. Now, you can see that naturally I look to go in a V shape. Now this is subjective, this is up to you. If you want to go toes forward, you can, but I like to do it this way because I think of myself as a ballerina doing, here we go, this is the word that I can never pronounce, a pirouette, whatever that word is, that's what I'm imagining that I am doing. And the reason being is because I feel that when I'm in this V shape here and coming up and onto my toes, I have firstly a great deal more control, and secondly I feel like I get a great deal more activation through my calves than I do if I'm straight on like so. And also, let's be honest, every calf exercise that you do, okay, you're in a position whereby you can stand straight on, and probably most likely do stand straight on. So whether you're doing, say, a single dumbbell calf raise off the edge there, whether you're doing calf presses, standing calf raises off the machine, whether you're doing a seated calf raise, 9 times out of 10, you're most likely probably in a straight position like so, coming up and down. So why not change it up just slightly and think about putting it out into a V? That's what I do. It is completely subjective, up to where you want to put your feet. So again, remember, we are subjected to where the barbell wants to go, so we want to make sure that we are nice and tight and rigid. Okay, glutes are on, knees are locked. I'm going to have them out nice and tall. Now, what I tend to try and do with this particular exercise is once I'm at the top, okay, I'm looking for as much of a contraction through my calf as possible. Once I'm at the top, I hold that position, and then I try and control my descent as much as possible. So we're going to come up, we're going to hold and pause, okay, and then we are going to control down, touch the heels, up and pause. So it's not as if I'm putting weight through these heels, okay, I'm just touching the ground and keeping all my tension through my through my toes, and I'm just driving up and down like so, and you'll feel your calves come absolutely alive. The benefit about this particular exercise is that you can actually load this up once you have the control and stability of just getting used to the fact that this is a free weighted exercise. A lot of people, because they're so used to doing a standard standing calf raise off the machine, they'll come up and they go, oh geez, I've lost it. Okay, so just before you start loading it up, make sure that you have that skill set down first. But you can do pretty much the same amount of weight that you normally do with the standing calf raise, give or take maybe 40 kilos, which is a 20 plate each side. So say if you're doing 3 plates a side and you're up and you're pausing and you're controlling down, you might be able to only do, say, 2 plates a side, or whatever. But yes, develop the skill first. So remember, shoulder blades back and down, nice and tight and rigid through the body, and then press to the floor. Whatever you want to do with your feet, it's up to you. I don't suggest coming in like this, okay? I never have. I don't understand it. Some people are like, oh, you get good calf activation. I don't think you do, but that's just a personal opinion, okay? Straight up or slightly out, beautiful, but this way, I mean, it's up to you. But yeah, okay team, so that there is how you want to go about doing a standing barbell calf raise. I hope you have picked up a few tricks and tips through this tutorial.